Okay, folks, here we have our next video that we're going to be demonstrating some additional skills in Procreate. We're still going to be focusing on using layers and using masking techniques. That's really what we're going to focus on. We're going to talk again about using a clipping mask, and then I'm going to introduce you to using what's called a layer mask. And these are ways to superimpose or composite images with more effectiveness, or at least giving you more options to combine imagery. So far, this is my canvas, and I've brought in 2 photos. So let's take a look at the layers. You'll see I have 3 images there. One of them is a little statue there on top. He's hiding right now since the box is not checked. So here's the image of the SPQR and an inscription here from Rome. And I'll plop that below so that you can see. I think the, let's go adjust that really quick. The opacity is a little bit low there on this sky scene. So here's a picture of a stormy sky. I just wanted that for drama. So I went to a website called unsplash.com. And you can find there free, copyright free, open source images to use. So that's where I got this. So let me just set these up. I'm going to make a simple composition here. And focusing on the sky, I'm just going to fill that up, something like that. All right, that's fine. And let's see. And then I'll show you, let's bring back the SPQ. Let's put that in front. Okay, now it's moving. So I'm going to resize that a little bit as well. Go up to our tool there. Let's see, I'm right about. I think that's perfect. I can crop it a little bit there. Okay, that will work. So let's talk about one way to superimpose these images. So we want to both see the SPQR inscription, but we also want to sort of have some visibility of that cool looking stormy sky. So here's the simplest way to do that. Simply go to the layers and let's adjust the opacity of one of them or both of them. You can fool around with which one works better on top. Probably though, we can just click on the in and lower the opacity with the inscription. And you can see we're getting kind of a nice combination. So you can play around with do you prefer more of the inscription? Do you prefer more of the sky showing through? Let's see, I think the sky is still pretty bold and the inscription's bold. I think I'll just go with it about there. So there we have it, 2 images that are superimposed. That can work for a lot of nice things. So what about this image though? Let's try a different technique of turn on our, our layer here with, this is actually a statue of Hercules. You can see he's holding his lion skin there. And for some reason his feet got cut off, so I'll just have to mess with him that way. So let's resize this a little bit, and I think I like where he's standing more or less, but I'll bring him down, enlarge him a little bit. And so there he is occupying space. So I'm going to actually duplicate him real quick just to show you. I'll get rid of him later. So now we have 2 versions. I'm going to put one over here. Okay, just for the moment. So let's go back to the original one. So what can we do with this? Now Hercules is clearly overlapping. And we could try our same technique now. He's on top of the other 2 layers. So we could click the in and we could lower the opacity on Hercules. So all of him consistently just starts to kind of fade. And, that's one way of doing it, but I'm kind of losing, I'm not really gaining anything really good. I'm just kind of losing all of them. All right. So what if there's a way to, with a little more selectivity, to kind of get at this? So let me make sure I'm going to put I'm going to leave the background layer of the sky there, and I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to duplicate the SPQR inscription just so I don't lose it. And so now focus on the two that are touching here, the SPQR right on top of the sky image. So with two fingers, I'm going to go pinch them down. And so now they are combined. They are now, I can't undo it. Well, let's see if I could. Nope. So here's this image now, and that's really the one I'm going to use. And now the SPQR above it is just to have around, so I'm going to hide it. I'm probably not going to use it anymore in this piece. And so the composite image now, you can faintly see the SPQR over the sky. I'm going to bring it up and put it on top of that layer that had the first Hercules. I'm going to hide the one on the left just to get him out of the way. So now with the layer selected, I can tap on the image. Instead of going clipping mask, I'm going to select mask. That opens up this sort of blank sheet above the image here. And so the really cool thing here is making sure now you can go back to a drawing tool, a brush, a pencil, whatever. And, so let's see what I'm working with here. Oh, I don't want to be in there. Let's find a something suitable for, I don't know, inking. No, actually it's going to work best here. Let's get a airbrush and do a kind of soft blend. You'll probably see why in a second. Okay, so now with this, let's get back to the layer mask. You can see it's kind of connected to the image, the layer below it. The layer mask selected, I have some options here, and I can both reveal and hide the image of Hercules that is underneath. So this is kind of a clever function. If you look at the, with my brush selected, if you look at the top right, I've got black selected. And so if I move on to, let's see, check the size here. If I move on to my canvas, opacity is about halfway. My brush size is sort of on the smaller side. And if I start making marks, you can see I'm revealing the image of Hercules. It's pretty cool. So I could decide that I want to reveal, maybe keep the focus on sort of his upper body and then let it kind of fade out slightly. You can play around with the opacity, and the amount of pressure you put on the brush also dictates like how much gets revealed. And if you don't like something, just tap with your two fingers and it walks backwards. So the other cool thing about this is I'm not destroying any layer. Could decide to leave his lion skin maybe out of the picture. I kind of liked his other hand there being, he's missing his club, but there, let's hide that arm a little more. And his shoulder there on the left, I think could come out a little more. There it is. At any rate, I think I want to get his other arm a little more visible. Maybe like that. That was a little too much. I want to leave that lion skin out of it. At least get his shoulder in. Okay, so the cool thing here is if you think you went too far, for example, let's show that lion skin, and you decide, well, there it is. Oh, I don't think I really want to reveal that as much. You can go back to the top right. Instead of black, select white. It's a kind of binary system here. It has to be either in black or white. If you have a color selected, it won't work. So now with the white selected, I can come back in and cover up or kind of remask stuff that was revealed. And so again, I could come in here, I could control the size of my brush, make it smaller, and be very selective about what I'm revealing and hiding. So there you go. So, I think the point, let's bring back the other Hercules just for a second. And you can see how using the layer mask, it's just called mask, but it's referred to as the layer mask. The cool thing about it is you can superimpose these images with a little more subtlety, a little more nuance, and kind of control things, transparency and opacity with a little more control than we did with the sky in the inscription. So there you have it. Give these things a try.